In 21st century wars, you need to be on guard for a 21st century attack. That's why in this episode of Perceptions the Law, Professor Addicott takes on the increasingly pressing issue of cyberterrorism. We'll look at what it means and what can be done to guard against such attacks. That and more begins right now.
Hi, my name is Professor Jeff Addicott. Today we're going to talk about cyber and cybersecurity. Senator Lieberman wrote several years ago that he was afraid that the next big attack by either Al-Qaeda or a nation state or a terrorist group was going to be a cyber attack. In the 9/11 Commission report, if you read the report, it said that the biggest flaw they found was a lack of imagination. For example, they said that our airline industry should have figured out that we need to put locking doors on the airplanes so an individual could not kick the door open, cut the pilot's throat, and crash the plane. The reason the airline industry didn't do it was a cost factor. It cost a lot of money to change the locks on the doors. So the same lack of imagination that plagued us before 9/11 is really haunting us now in the realm of cybersecurity. There's a lack of imagination. What do I mean by that? Well, 85% of our critical infrastructure in this country is operated by computers. What is a critical infrastructure? The Department of Homeland Security has listed several key elements that make life better for us. We call those critical infrastructure. There's banking, there's transportation, there's IT issues, there's medical issues, there's energy issues. And so all these things that operate, that make our life livable, are now operated by computers. And we might call them SCADA systems or other terms that develop the concept that is based on computer systems. And since 85% of these systems operate under private industry, it's private industry that creates their own cyber and they create their own cyber security. Well, unfortunately, as we've seen, a lot of businesses don't build their IT programs around security. They build them around efficiency because they're capitalists and they are obviously worried and rightly so about making a profit. So the government, on the other hand, is concerned with our safety. And so the issue is, how do we get the private industry to realize that this is a threat? Because imagine if you could hack into a computer, the brain of a computer that runs a nuclear power plant, and tell the nuclear power plant basically stop cooling the reactor rods. Or if you could hack into a transportation system, or you could hack into a bank and order the withdrawal of money, or you could hack into the energy grid and shut it down. Massive damage could be done to society. And our enemies know that. And the enemies, again, can emanate from a state sponsor of terrorism. It can emanate from a lone wolf individual. It can emanate from a group. We generally term this as cyberterrorism, but quite frankly, most of the incidents that we've seen where our cyber systems are disrupted are from human error, from criminal gangs, from competitors. Actually, it's a very small segment that's really associated with cyber terrorism. But the terrorists know this. We know for a fact, for example, that Al-Qaeda recruits through cyberspace. They also gather money and intelligence through cyberspace. And we know that they have planned in the past to do a cyber attack coterminous with a physical attack. But again, if you can imagine, and it's not that hard to imagine, if you have the skills, would you use those skills to attack our cyber infrastructure? And the answer is yes. How does the government respond? Well, we have a process that started in the Reagan administration, if you will. And every president, Democrat or Republican, has had this strategy, which is called the engagement strategy. We reach out to the civilian entities and ask them to share information with us so we can help you develop better cybersecurity standards. That approach, of course, is probably not going to work in the long term because of that friction. Most capitalists are not comfortable when they see that the government is coming here to help us. They immediately grab their wallets. They also have a built-in desire not to share information because they're afraid that their competitors will find out what they're doing. And of course, the board of directors doesn't want to tell their shareholders that our system was just hacked and we lost X amount of money. There's a built-in incentive to kind of keep that information quiet when they do suffer a loss through a cyber attack of some sort. The other option is for the government to mandate regulation, cybersecurity standards. Here's what your standards should be. And of course, that's simply not feasible. Because one, by the time you develop the cybersecurity standards that should be in place for a particular industry, they're obsolete. Because cyber is developing and evolving so rapidly that the standards can't keep up with the evolution. And the second reason, of course, is that who are you going to hire to develop these standards? Government employees can make a lot more money in the civilian sector than they can working for the government. So it's probably not going to happen that we're going to have cybersecurity standards mandated by the government. What probably will have to happen is that we have a cyber attack where a company is sued in tort and massive damage rewards are given to the plaintiffs. That will motivate many companies to increase their cybersecurity profile. So they're forced to do it not because it's the right thing to do, but because of the fear of litigation that might come towards them. So cybersecurity is really the new frontier for terrorism, and it's an issue that we are leaning forward in the saddle. One good thing about the Obama administration, they have leaned forward in the saddle more than previous administrations. They're trying to engage more with the civilian community. They're trying to increase the standard process and to get businesses to volunteer, to cooperate. They're doing that through certain mandates because the government obviously has cybersecurity standards for their computers. But if you work with the government, there are ways that we can encourage through the carrot and the stick for these private industries to also adopt higher cybersecurity standards. To stay up to date on the latest news, be sure to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter.